Hi guys, welcome back to SIC's YouTube channel. Today we are back again with the concept of interviewing students from abroad. And today we have Divya Saraswati from Auckland University of Technology, New Zealand, and she's here to share her experiences in the university and the country as well. So Divya, how are you?
Hi Gauri, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. How is COVID treating you?
COVID is okay. We are in lockdown again from last night.
Okay.
So yeah, so lockdown was still going on.
So how are you
Mm.
managing things now?
I'm working from home, so it's
Mm-hmm.
actually not that bad, and
Mm-hmm.
like I don't have to travel to work, so all that part is okay. And yeah, it's actually not so bad.
Okay. So I think New Zealand was the first country to announce an unlock phase, right? So how are things corresponding to that now?
New Zealand has been very strict with respect to COVID, so
Mhm.
they've followed very strict rules. They closed the borders very early, and even people with valid work visa can't get in. Only citizens are allowed back. And yesterday, so we didn't have a lockdown all these days, and yesterday they found 3 people in the community. So again, there's a lockdown now.
Okay.
So it's such a good thing that they're very strict, but it's
Mhm.
also um, it's very strict. Yeah, but I'm happy because that's the way they're controlling things, and everyone is happy. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's much better here the situation.
Okay. So you are working right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you compare your work with the college students over there, how are they facing the lockdown now?
The students, I think everyone is learning online, so they
Mhm.
don't have any classes, which is kind of bad because the whole campus experience is the best part of studying abroad. So
Yeah.
since they have to do everything virtually, it's only about the studies and homework and all that.
Mhm.
But we can't do anything else. It's just COVID has come into this world and disrupted everything. Yeah. But I think the professors here are also very understanding because of COVID. They are very lenient with the deadlines and everything. That's what I've heard.
Mhm.
So that's a good thing for
Okay.
students. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the next question would be like, what countries were you interested in, and how did you land up in New Zealand then?
Actually, right after I finished my engineering in India, my bachelor's, most of my friends started going to US,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working then. So I started researching how it is, and I was talking to them. And then when I did my research, I found out that it was so expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and so that I was very hesitant. And also, the visa was only for a few months after you finish your studies, and you have to get a job, otherwise you'll have to go back and all that. And then when I researched on New Zealand, I found that the cost was very less compared to US. And also, you after you finish your studies, you get 3 years work visa to find a job. And after that, it's kind of easy to get your residence and citizenship and everything. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, this is much better, and that's why I chose New Zealand. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
kind of less stressful. Yeah.
How do you compare New Zealand with the other foreign countries like US, UK, and all?
I have not been around much, but I
Mm-hmm.
think so. When I compare with India, I feel like New Zealand is very not very competitive in the sense. So
Mm-hmm.
people don't work till 8 or 9 or anything. When I was in India, I used to work late hours, and I had to get to work at 8 and then leave at 7 or something. But here, everyone is relaxed, and at 4:30, everyone finishes work. They go home. Everyone mostly is not a workaholic. They're mostly chilling, so that's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very relaxed here. Everyone is peaceful. Everyone just wants to be with their family. They're not very concerned about other things. So I
Mm-hmm.
find that very different, and I like it. Yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
very peaceful place.
Okay. Okay. So there are some interesting things about the Auckland city.
Auckland City, firstly, everyone is very nice here. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the few things that I noticed when I came here was when you travel in bus and when you get down from the bus, you're supposed to say thank you to the bus driver for the ride.
Okay.
And then and so all the malls and everything close at like 5 o'clock even on weekends, so
Okay.
you can't go to the mall after 5 to shop or anything. But it's very opposite to India because that's when we go out in the evening. And
Exactly.
also, yeah, and even like restaurants, they close at 9 or 9:30,
Mm-hmm.
so that by the time I think, oh, let's go out for dinner, it's already 9 and I can't go anywhere. So all these are very different for me, but it's because they don't want people in the mall also to work late hours, so it's everything closes at 5. It's like that. Yeah.
Okay. So
So these
whenever
are
you have
some,
to go out, you make sure that all the things are done within 5 o'clock, right?
yeah, you have to remember that you'll be closed after that. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So like in India, as you say that we start everything after 5 o'clock only. We'll say, okay, let the sun set. We'll go out after that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And it's like a nightlife is very rare here. Only the clubs and stuff are open after like late night,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also only on weekends. So
Mm-hmm.
the other times after 7 or 8, everything gets quiet. There are few cars on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just goes home and chills with their family. Yeah, it's very different.
Very peaceful
Mm.
city then in terms, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. So what made you choose AUT, Auckland University of Technology?
I had applied for 3 different universities, and out of that, I got an admit from University of Auckland and Auckland University of Technology. But the course that I got in University of Auckland, I was not leaning towards that because I got something related to management.
Mm-hmm.
And but with AUT, I got computer science. So the reason for that was because initially when I was applying, I was not very sure. So I just thought I'll apply to 2 different courses. And then as time went on, I made a decision that I have to pursue computer science.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose AUT. But I've also heard that AUT is more practical, while University of Auckland is more theoretical. But I don't know. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy with my decision. Yeah.
Okay, so your bachelor's was of computer science, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So what's your major? And yeah, you answered this question. What made you choose that major? Now, how was the admission process at the Auckland University of Technology?
The admission process was actually a lot stressful compared to what my US going friends went through. So we didn't have SOPs, LORs, and we had an SOP, but not an LOR and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
all I did was I went to the education consultant and then I gave them all my documents, and they suggested that I can get into these universities, and they gave me the pamphlet on the different courses offered by the universities. So I
Mm-hmm.
just made a selection of 3 or 4 courses and sent to the agent, and she applied for me. And it was mostly mark sheets, a letter saying I'm interested to study here, the reasons and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, actually that was it. So I all and an English exams result, but initially I did not send my English exams result because I didn't take it. But
Mm-hmm.
after I got an conditional offer, I went and took the exam and sent the result, and then I got my unconditional offer. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So the
It
English
took
exam was IELTS, right?
no, I wrote PTE.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So, and how was the first day at university? How excited were you to join the classes, or did it feel different, like you were in a different city? I know that you come from Chennai, the southern part of India, like where we have classes where we don't move usually, only the teacher moves, right?
Yeah.
And now you're moving into a different country entirely. Have you been in a hostel before that, or this is the first time you're going to a hostel? How was the experience? Like, tell us in a nutshell. Yeah.
The first thing was that we didn't have classes for all the 8 hours a day. So I
Okay.
had in my first semester I had 4 subjects, and each
Mm-hmm.
was 1 hour class.
Mm-hmm.
So in a total of 1 week, I only had 4 hours of classes, and
Mm-hmm.
I can choose my classes. So I chose Monday and Tuesday to have all the 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
so that the rest of the days I'm free and I didn't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was good. And also, like on Mondays, I'd go to university, and then I'd have one class in the morning, and then my next class would be at like 3 o'clock. So I'll just sit there in the library, walk, and there'll
Mm-hmm.
be so many activities going on. So I'll just
Mm-hmm.
go and see what's happening. I'll just roam around on my own,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so it was nice. And then the rest of the days, I had lots of time, so I had a part-time job, and I
Mm-hmm.
got time to explore, do my homework and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was so different because I was so used to spending 8 hours 5 days in
In the
college
same
in
class.
India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and also the friends were different in each of the classes. So like
Okay.
a person who's studying with me in one class will not be in my next class, so so if I had to ask doubts about assignment, I had one friend for each class, just to be in touch and get to know stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how good were you at networking?
Actually, it's like, so most of the students are coming. I mean, at least the people I spoke with, they were also international students. Everyone wanted to make friends, and it was kind of easy to make
Mm-hmm.
friends initially. Yeah, I was very shy actually, to be honest. But after that, I outgrew it, and we started forming small groups. So and then we just include people. So it was good like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, let us jump to the first question. I think I didn't get an answer. How was your first day at university? Like, what process did you go through, and was it an orientation day? Like, how did things go on the first day?
Okay. To be frank, so my
Mm.
visa came very late because I applied late, so I had to miss my orientation. I
Okay.
joined 1 week later, and so before that, so on the day I joined, because I missed orientation, I didn't know where the campus, the where the library is, where the student hub is. So I
Mm-hmm.
straight went to the student hub, and they were very kind. So one
Mm-hmm.
girl accompanied me. She showed me where everything is, and then
Mm-hmm.
she taught me about where I should go and enroll for classes and all that. So I
Mm-hmm.
quickly chose 4 subjects that I was interested in, and then I started going to the class.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but orientation is supposed to be very important and very nice and
Yeah.
fun. So
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
just really,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was very bummed that I had to miss it, because that's where you get to meet people and know
Mm-hmm.
everything about the campus and
Yeah,
everything.
it
Yeah,
is a
but
very
my
important part of networking as well, right? Orientation.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mm, yeah, but it was just, I was very sad that I missed it. But yeah.
That's okay. So, and what are the provisions that the university provides for international students?
You get an option for choosing accommodation with the university. So they provide you with, you have to pay an amount and they give you an accommodation. And that's also nice because you get to stay with people from different countries, and it's like a dorm room, and you have to share a kitchen, and you get to make international friends that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a student hub, so you can, any questions you have, any concerns, anything, you can just go to that student hub and just get it cleared. And it's also run by students, so you don't have to worry about whether someone will think bad about you or something. And you can change your you can go to a class, and if 1 week later you decide that this is not the subject for me, you can go and change it, and they will not ask any questions. But you only get that option for 1 week, so before that you
Okay.
have to make a decision.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was good. And then also they organize many cultural events. So as an Indian, they organized Diwali festivals, and they'll send you like, do you want to perform or anything? So all that was good. It made you feel like, okay, there's a festival and have somewhere to go to and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you
Mm.
mentioned about changing your subjects in 1 week. So, like, how much time do you get? Exactly, it's 1 week only. So if you do not like, or if you're not interested in a subject, you can, go for another subject, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, yeah. If
Okay.
you can, I think the maximum is 2 weeks, but
Mm-hmm.
most preferably without any questions, they'll let you switch within the first week. But
Okay.
if you change your mind after 2 weeks, you have to go give an explanation and everything. Yeah,
Okay. But
but two
still,
weeks
you
is
have
like
an
the hard
option.
limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Mm.
one is a free limit, and the second week is a like restricted limit or something, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Nice, nice. So, how is the placement system in campus? I know that it's hard to find a job via the campus. It's not the same as in India, like where we get placement options from the university. You'll have to go out and find a job out for yourself. But then, still, how did you face it, and how easily can you find a job, and how was your experience in finding a job?
So in the campus, there'll be few companies who are offering internships and stuff. So every once in a while, you'll get an email saying, so you have to go to the website and register that I'm interested in all these fields, and if there's a job, let me know. And you'll get an email once in a while saying this company is interested to offer an internship to 2 or 3 people, and you have to submit an application and go through that process, like the interview and everything. But that's very less, because in a class of 100 students, only 2 or 3 will get that chance. But other than that, there's this website which was really useful. It was called Student Job Search, and that website had jobs that were posted only for students, and it'll usually have IT related stuff or field related stuff. So you can find that job and apply for it, and then you might get a call and get a job. Yeah, it's
Okay.
good because whatever's posted in the Student Job Search website, it does not require you to have any experience, so you
Mhm.
can just directly apply if you're studying that particular subject. Yeah.
Okay.
My
Okay.
first job I applied, yeah, so when I came here, looking for a part-time job, so I
Mhm.
applied through that website and got a job as a data administrator in a company.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was very good for me because I was able to meet my expenses, and I got experience in working for a New Zealand company and everything. And
Mhm.
yeah, I it was through that website.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
So, what is the amount of part-time working hours? Like, how many hours can you work as a part-time in New Zealand?
20 hours per week as a
Okay.
student.
Okay. And if
Yeah.
it's a full time during a semester vacation, something like that?
Yeah, full time during your holidays. So that's 40 hours. And also you get 3 to 4 months holidays in between semesters. So
Mm-hmm.
I had November to January off. So I
Mm-hmm.
worked full time then to save some money. Yeah.
Okay. So, and what is the wage rate? How much can they pay you if you're a part-timer?
The minimum wage is $17.5. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It usually increases by $1 every year. So when I started, it was 17.5.
Mm-hmm.
But my first part-time job, I was paid $20 per hour by that company. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I think your expenses will be assorted. I mean, they will be sorted, right?
Yeah, I was able
Mm.
to meet it because I was students usually share a house with other people, right? So
Yeah.
we were a group of people who rented a house. So we divided everything like electricity, food, groceries, everything. So it was very manageable with what we were running. Yeah.
So, how was your experience like staying in a new country with new roommates and people probably you have never met before? How was it? Like, did you feel it very tough? Like you always stayed in your room, or you came out, you networked with people, you went out? How was it?
Um, the cooking part and all that was very hard because I was not used to doing my own work, like doing the dishes, cooking, then assignment, and then on top of it, part-time work. So it was very stressful to manage it. But then I got a little better, and I learned all these easy dishes to make. So it was a starting point, and then it started improving. And
Mhm,
as for socializing, I think everyone gets very lonely, so it's better to go out often because if
mhm,
you stay in your room all day, then it's already you feel as if you have nobody in this place, and it can get very lonely. So
mhm,
it's actually good if you have a good group of friends to
mhm,
go out with. And I
mhm,
was lucky, so I had to I often, even if I was really bored, I'd go to university and then just do something there.
mhm,
Otherwise I'll go to like beaches or parks or something and then just spend time there. And also one of the really different things for me was to go out alone. When I was in India, I have never gone to a restaurant alone and ordered food and ate by myself, or
mhm,
gone to a movie by myself. But after
mhm,
coming here, it's something that I had to do because I'll be in university, I'll have to get lunch, so I have to go to a restaurant, order and eat, and then I got used to it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a very normal thing for me now. Yeah.
So you have to be independent at any cost, right? When you are thinking of
Yes.
studying abroad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very important because you can get homesick very easily, and
Mm.
that's something that you have to deal with. There's no one
Okay.
to look after you. You have to look after yourself. Yeah.
Okay. 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 So when you talk about USA, there's a concept called as teaching assistantships and research assistantships. So does New Zealand also have that concept?
I think they have teaching assistants, but it's you. So I studied postgraduate course, right? But
Mm-hmm.
usually the TAs are chosen from the bachelor's students.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not something that was applicable to us. But there are opportunities, but very few of them.
Okay.
Not a lot.
Okay. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Right. It's restricted within some departments, I guess.
It's not restricted, but there are only very few, like one or two here and there. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it is very competitive to get that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what is the best part about your university? What I mean, what do you feel key like this is the best thing that has happened in AUT? What is something like that?
All the events, and you can participate in a lot of things. Like if you're into writing, they have this magazine and you can just send your story and they'll publish it. And everyone is very friendly. They keep organizing something or the other so that it's always happening. And the teachers are all very young. They're not like too old, and they are very friendly as well. So they make jokes and you can go and ask. So there was one time when I didn't know what my essay should be on. And then my professor actually gave me 5 ideas and said, choose one from this. And they're very friendly. You don't feel like, oh, he's my professor, I can't go ask him this. So I really liked that part because everyone was like a friend to you. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the other thing was it was not very stressful as I would have imagined it. I would feel so my bachelor's in India was more stressful than this. So Yeah,
Okay,
that
okay,
was
yeah.
a
Somewhere,
good thing.
if we can relate, the bachelor's and master's are entirely on two different worlds, you should say, right? Like bachelor's,
Yeah,
we stress ourselves about the unit test, about the semester exams, and about your projects, maybe. And after that, when you enter into the master's, especially in an abroad country, you find yourself to be little free and relaxed when compared to your bachelor's, right?
yeah. And I did not have even one exam for all my 8 subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was such a good thing. There were no exams.
So
Yeah.
then, what is the
And
concept if there's no exam?
assignments, so they'll just give, so you'll have two major assignments,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get graded based on that. Yeah. And the
Okay.
funny part is, for my second semester, or I had 4 subjects and three of them were group assignments. The group projects kind of thing. So it was so relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you learn things in such a case? Like things have been made so easy for you. Like you don't have exams, you only have assignments. How did you get to learn? Were you so studious, like you went yourself to a person to learn things? Or how did you manage things? Like how did you gain knowledge?
Oh, but even though they were not exams, they were, you were forced to learn. For example, the assignment would have some coding questions that you had to do by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and they were not very easy. The projects were a bit hard, and you need to know how to do something. So it was very practical, unlike in India, where everything we were just mugging up answers and writing. Here, you just had to do it, and only when you do it, you'll face problems like the setup won't be correct, or you'll install and find something is missing with your installation, all those kind of things. And also you have to get the output, because you know that this is the right answer. And yeah, it's more like you will learn how to code, or you will learn, if you're into databases or artificial intelligence or something, you'll actually do hands-on work, and
Okay.
you will submit your project like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of my projects was to develop an application, where if you give an input, this happens. It's a phone app. So we had
Mm-hmm.
to do that app, and it was not something that you can do in 2 or 3 days. You had to spend like 1 month. We had sprint reviews. We have to show our updates to the professor, all
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, so
Okay.
it was more like a real life working project where you do in your work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in that way, you learn a lot, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice, nice. And what would you suggest or advise the current students who are planning to study in New Zealand?
I would suggest never to give up. So once they've decided that they're going to go and study abroad, then they have to start trying, doing all the prep work, and don't doubt themselves too much. It will be okay, because I was so stressed when I decided I was going to make the move, and when everything, like when I got my visa and everything, it struck me that okay, I'm leaving, I'm going to go, and I was
Mm-hmm.
so scared. But after
Mm-hmm.
I reached here, it was not that scary.
Okay.
It will be okay. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no point in stressing too much, and it's not a bad decision to go abroad. It's actually a very good decision in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And once you reach the country you're going to study and work, you have to like never give up. You might get a lot of rejections from jobs, you might have many difficulties, but never give up, because it
Okay.
will work one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So as far as I studied you from the start of the interview, I think you were someone who was very scared of each and everything. And later, then when you moved to another country, you have, I mean, I should say you have remodeled yourself to someone who is very strong and brave now, right? That is what
Yes.
a
Yeah.
study abroad experience gives you.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You become stronger, independent, and then you'll know how to do things yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
very empowering. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I mean, this experience is a must for everyone, not only a person who is very afraid. It is a must for
Mm.
everyone who
Yes.
actually wants to achieve something in life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The feeling itself is very great. Like I moved all the way from India to this place alone and made it. So that makes me very happy and proud. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. And I think I skipped one question. How were the internship options in New Zealand? Did you intern for any company or you directly landed up into a job?
So I did not intern, but I got the part-time job that I told you about. So that was, after I came here, I started applying to all those part-time jobs, and 1 month later, I got that IT job, and then
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there for 1 year. And so one year later, my course ended, and I went and told them like, okay, I'm finishing university, and then they offered me a full-time job in the same company, so which
Oh.
made me extremely happy. And then after that, I applied and got an even better job. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's been a really good progression career wise. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. So, like, part-time jobs, usually when we check out other countries, not only New Zealand, I guess, when we check out other countries, there are more there's more number of options on the on not on your major side. Like if you're a major into some subject, there is no guarantee that you will get a part-time on that subject as well, only. You get a part-time on different, you're getting my question, right? Like when you apply
Yes.
for a part-time, there's no guarantee that you will get it on your subject only. You tend to get it on different subjects or different types of part-time. So how is New Zealand comparatively on this thing? Like, do you get part-times on your major only, or there are options on the other sides as well?
To be honest, getting a part-time job in your major is kind of hard. So usually, most of my friends, they were waitressing or working in restaurants and stuff like that. But also, I would say that even when you initially when you come, you need a job, so you can take up all those jobs. But after that, you have to keep applying, not give up. Some people just get very tired when they come home that they don't apply for like their field-related jobs, and then opportunities just go by. So yeah, even I had applied for such jobs, but I was just crazy applying every day, checking this, checking that website and everything. So ultimately I got one, but I was kind of lucky that way. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's just the same as other countries. You
Okay.
can get either, you can, mostly there are many odd jobs available, but
Mhm.
there are a few field related jobs too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Divya. It was very nice talking to you. Thank you for all the information that you provided us. And it was very nice interviewing you. I completely understand that how a journey, how this journey would have been for you. And I can actually picture myself sending students from SIC to abroad and how they are going to change themselves as well. So thank you
Yeah.
so much. It has been very inspiring talking to you. And in case if you come to India, do visit SIC.
Oh, I will for sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Divya.